everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name is
Hello, my name is Grant Moore. I'm the CEO of SPC Nickel, a TSX-listed public company trading under the ticker symbol SPC. I'd like to take this opportunity to provide you with an introduction to SPC Nickel and hopefully convince you why I feel SPC is one of the more attractive opportunities out there in the nickel space. So why do I feel SPC is an interesting opportunity for investors to consider? It really comes down to 4 points: commodity, location, project quality, and market opportunity. So for commodity, SPC Nickel is focused 100% on the exploration of magmatic nickel sulfide deposits, which include, in addition to nickel, copper, platinum, palladium, and gold. And as we all know, the continued shift towards electric vehicles makes the outlook for nickel very bullish for the foreseeable future, as demand for Class 1 nickel begins to outpace the available supply. Now, for location, anyone who knows the nickel space in North America knows that it is primarily controlled by 2 companies who control a vast majority of the 4 main nickel camps in North America, that being the Thompson Nickel Belt, the Sudbury Mining Camp, the Raglan Camp, and the Voisey's Bay Camp. SPC is uniquely positioned as one of the few junior companies listed on the TSX that has advanced projects hosting resources within an established camp, that being the Sudbury Mining Camp, where historic production and known reserves are in excess of 1.7 billion tons. In addition to our Sudbury projects, SPC has 4 main projects across Canada that range in scale from camp scale nickel opportunities in Nunavut to more advanced projects in the Sudbury Mining Camp that have seen either path production or host historic resources. I'll briefly touch on 2 of our more exciting projects: our flagship Lockerbie East project located in the Sudbury Mining Camp, and our camp scale kind of grassroots Muskox project located in Nunavut. The Lockerbie East project is located within the southwest corner of the prolific Sudbury Basin, adjacent to the past producing Lockerbie mine that operated from 1970 to 2015 and produced in excess of 10 million tons of high-grade massive sulfide mineralization hosting nickel and copper. The property itself hosts both the historic high-grade Lockerbie East deposit as well as the large near-surface West Graham deposit. The Lockerbie East deposit was previously mined from underground and hosts a resource of about 200,000 tons grading in excess of 3% nickel equivalents. And we feel that this deposit, based on work that we've done, remains open at depth for up to an additional 1,000 meters. The property itself also hosts the West Graham deposit, which has a combined indicated and inferred resource of over 10 million tons grading at a grade of 0.65 nickel equivalents. And within this resource is a higher grade core where nickel copper values typically exceed 1% nickel equivalent. And in this area, earlier this year in 2022, SPC completed an 18-hole, 5,200-meter drill program designed to further test the extents of this higher grade core within the West Graham resources. In general, the program was a huge success, with all 18 holes returning nickel values equal to or greater than the historic resources surrounding them. I encourage any interested parties to look at our website for the results from that project. The other project I'd like to introduce is our camp scale Muskox project located in northern Canada in the territory of Nunavut. It was initially discovered in the early 50s by Inco and represents one of the last camp scale opportunities for the discovery of a new tier 1 nickel copper precious metal district in North America. The property hosts high grade nickel copper precious metal mineralization in both surface and drill holes over a strike length of over 120 kilometers. Starting in 2021 and into 2022, SPC managed to acquire through staking over 54,000 hectares of mining claims covering a large portion of the intrusion. In 2022, we did a maiden field trip to the property and observe widespread high-grade nickel copper mineralization at surface, where grab samples up to 10% nickel and copper were reported in grab samples. So that's kind of a summary of our projects. And really, the last point to touch on is market opportunity. SPC is well funded with approximately $3 million of cash in the treasury. Our current market cap is about $5.5 million, which gives us an enterprise value of around $2.5 million. So at these current prices, we feel that SPC is a really great opportunity and something that investors who want exposure to the nickel space should seriously consider. So I encourage you to visit our website at spcnickel.com if you want to get a little bit more information about the company, or if you'd like to discuss the company further with myself, I can be reached at info@spcnickel.com. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Luke Alexander, President and CEO of Newcore Gold. Newcore Gold is a district-scale exploration project in Ghana. It is fundamentally underpinned by a robust PEA that we put out in 2021, but really the focus for us has been on exploration over the last couple of years. We recently completed a 90,000 meter drill program. This is the largest ever drill program on the project. We are in the midst of updating our resource, which we're hoping to get out in the next few weeks. That resource is building off of a current 1.4 million ounce resource, which we put out in 2021. We are adding an additional 35 to 40,000 meters to the existing resource. That's a lot of drilling that we've done, stepping out along strike, up dip, down dip, which we see as true resource expansion drilling. As well, we completed a lot of greenfield drilling. So we made 3 new discoveries on the project as part of that 90,000 meter drill program, as well as we made a number of higher grade discoveries. Right now, prior to this 90,000 meter program, the deepest ever hole was only down to 125 meters. We've started to test some of the sulfides now down to about 250 to 300 meters below surface, and we've encountered a number of high-grade zones, which we're very excited about. One of the things I think a lot of investors have been looking at over the last number of months and has really been impacting the junior sector, and Newcore is no different, is tax loss selling. The sector has been hit really hard by tax loss selling, and we've been caught up in that wave of selling. One of the things that I've found very encouraging watching the trading volumes over the last couple of months is that in the last 4 weeks we've traded about 20% of the free float of the company. Looking at our free float, that's taking out management and insider ownership. So management and directors, we own 24% of Newcore Gold. So we ultimately are very well aligned with shareholders. And then if we take out our 5 largest institutional investors who own roughly 30% of Newcore Gold, that's how I'm calculating that free float. So we've traded about 14 million shares in the past 4 weeks, which again represents about 20% of the free float of our company. That's all been around 20 cents a share, so nice to see big consolidation happening at that level. My personal view is that there's some larger shareholders who are stepping in, recognizing all of the work that's been completed over the last couple of years, the value that we've got within our project, and are keen to step in at these levels and start to accumulate large positions. Since that, we've in the last week or so really started to see the volume build on the buy side as well. So I think we're in for a nice couple of months here now that it looks like we're finally getting through the tax loss selling season. One of the things that we've started to talk more and more about our project is the optionality that it provides. When I look at other projects globally, one of the things that really stands out for me is the huge capex that a lot of these projects have relative to the NPV of the project. So, NPVs of $600 million for $500 million of capex, or NPVs of $500 million for $400 million of capex. So very skinny NPV to capex margins for a lot of those projects globally. And one of the realities is that if you've got a project in the middle of nowhere, there's a huge upfront capex that's required to bring those projects into production. one of the real differentiators of the Enchi project is that we've got great infrastructure, which inevitably leads to a much lower capex, as well as the fact that it's a heap leach project, which most investors on this call hopefully recognize that that's a much lower capex way of producing gold. But then on top of that, we've got huge exploration upside, as well as the ability to scale the project up. So if you look at the current NPV of the project at a $1,650 gold price, we outlined a very simple open pit heap leach project, $212 million after-tax NPV at $1,650, and that's production of about 100,000 ounces per year. As we discover more gold, there'll be the ability to continue to ramp that up. When we start to compare that to other projects globally, I think that's one of the key differentiators, is the optionality that our project provides. In terms of capital market support, we've grown our institutional ownership from 0 to 40%. As I mentioned, management and directors, we own 24% of the business, so we're very well aligned with shareholders. And I think all of us recognize that that optionality is one of the key differentiators and something that will create a lot of value for Newcore shareholders. Thank you very much.
Hi there, everybody. My name is Jacques van Heeren. I'm the CEO and MD of Wits Mining. We're a small cap mining company listed on the ASX and the OTC. We've got 3 projects in various stages of development. Firstly, our mainstay project here in South Africa. We sit with a 3.4 million ounce JORC compliant resource, of which 2/3 of the resource is in measured and indicated. We've completed a feasibility study on the project that yielded very good results. We sit with an NPV of about 180 million US. We've got a significant life of mine here in South Africa of 17 years for just phase 1. Our all-in sustaining cost is estimated to be below $1,100 per ounce. And we are fully permitted, and we're all ready to go and put this project into operation. We've got various stages of building this operation. The feasibility that we completed was on phase 1, and that will take us all the way up to about 55,000 ounces per annum. And then we've got the ability and the opportunity to grow this mine here in South Africa all the way up to a potential of about 200,000 ounces. That studies are busy being completed, but we know for sure that we've got a project that will already yield strong results for us, getting all the way up to about 50,000 ounces. Our second project that we're busy with is a uranium project that sits alongside our gold project here in South Africa. We completed drilling in 2008, and we recently completed a further drilling program just to confirm the historical results. And as expected, the results turned out to be the same, and that prompted us now to move this project forward and then to be able to declare a resource over the exploration target that we've got. That work is scheduled to start next year, and then push the project forward up to in the value curve. Then our third project that we've got is our Mount Cecilia project. That's based in WA in Australia, in the Paterson province. We entered into a JV agreement there with Rio Tinto, and we embarked on a maiden drilling campaign, which we completed a couple of days ago. So all the results are in at the lab at the moment, so we're quite excited to see what this will yield. So in a nutshell, these are the 3 projects that we're pushing forward. We've got a strong feasibility project here in South Africa, just to reiterate that. We're fully permitted, so once we've got the funds raised to execute the project, which we're busy with a fundraising initiative at the moment, then we'll start. We'll commence mining. We hope to commence mining early in the new year, then build the mine up all the way up to about 50,000 ounces per annum for a life of mine of 17 years on phase 1. So I hope you find this interesting. Please refer to our website, witsmining.com. There you will find all our recent announcements. You'll also have the opportunity to look at the management team and the board, the experience that we've got there. And then please feel free to reach out to the company if you require any further information, and we're quite happy to assist you. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello, my name is Rob Thuray. I am Vice President Corporate Finance and Business Development for Gensource Potash Corporation. Gensource Potash is a potash development company located in Saskatchewan, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and we are listed on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol GSP. Gensource is located in the global hub of potash development. Gensource has 80,000 acres of mineable potash resource in Saskatchewan. We have a very unique approach to potash development. Gensource is using a technique called selective dissolution mining, whereby we can develop projects that are A, scalable, and B, very environmentally friendly. The technique used by Gensource, called selective solution mining, produces no salt tailings. It creates no salt tailings piles on surface or brine ponds. Everything is self-contained. To date, the key milestones that Gensource has achieved is that we have a project that is shovel-ready. We have completed an NI 43-101 full resource report and engineering estimate. We have completed a feed study as of October 2021. We have secured senior debt financing and are working on our last mile financing, project financing. Gensource has received environmental approvals, and we have received all our construction permits. We are, in fact, shovel ready. The goal is to start construction in the beginning of first quarter of 2023. Gensource, I can say, has a wonderful relationship with Helm AG out of Germany. Helm is a family-owned, very large conglomerate, and they have a very large presence in the fertilizer industry in the United States. Gensource has a 100% offtake agreement, a take-or-pay offtake agreement with Helm AG. Helm will be marketing, taking the product right from the mine site and taking it directly to the markets in the U.S. We're very excited about the project. We're very excited about our future. The global need for food security is paramount and has presented itself so in the last 9 to 12 months from a geopolitical perspective. Gensource is at the right place, at the right time, with the right product. Proper agronomy and fertilization on a global basis is paramount for food security and food access. And we're so pleased to be part of the food supply and part of the solution for global food security. I welcome you to join the future of potash development. Please visit us at Gensource Potash on our website, and I look forward to having the opportunity to speak to every one of you in the near future. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you today, and I look forward to connecting sometime in the near future. Please stay tuned and stay in touch. Gensource Potash.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Silver Viper's presentation today. My name is Alicia Ford. I'm the Business Development Manager at the Belcara Group, so you're probably going to hear from me twice on both Barcele and Silver Viper, but right now I'm going to walk you through the highlights of Viper. So as I mentioned, Silver Viper is a part of the Belcara Group, which is comprised of technical and capital markets professionals in the mining industry with over 150 years of combined experience. Our model focuses on exploration, and given the structure of our group, we're able to draw on the knowledge of our 3 in-house senior geologists to identify opportunities to discover and develop quality exploration projects that maximize shareholder value. Given our team's network, we're continuously receiving and reviewing new projects for both Silver Viper and our two other companies, Barceli and Oryx. The Belcara Group is the same team recognized for the discovery of Orco Silver's La Preciosa deposit in Durango, Mexico. That project was begun as a grassroots project by our team, which they then proved up the resource to over 270 million ounces and ultimately sold in a bidding war to Core Mining for over $350 million. For those of you unfamiliar with Silver Viper, we currently have one asset in Sonora, Mexico, the La Virginia project. La Virginia is a silver gold project in the Sierra Madre Silver Belt. In May 2021, we released our maiden resource on La Virginia, which found an indicated 154,000 ounce of gold and 6.9 million ounce silver, and an inferred 260,000 ounce gold and 12.9 million ounce silver. The La Virginia project shows potential for an open pit heap leach mine followed by underground mining. The project itself is in a very mining-friendly jurisdiction in Sonora, Mexico, with excellent infrastructure. Our teams in Mexico and Canada have established relationships with local government after years of working in Mexico. And Silver Viper also participates in a variety of community investment initiatives and employs locals, so we have a great relationship with the community as well. At the La Virginia project, there's significant upside potential as indicated by our recently found second lode at our first discovery on the project, El Ruby. Since we have limited time, I'm not going to rattle off our drill results, but I really encourage you to check them out on our website in the Investors section under Presentations. You can also find them in our Projects section of the website under Drilling Highlights. There you'll find some really exciting hits, like our hit of 491 grams per ton of silver and 10.3 grams per ton of gold, or 351 grams per ton of silver and 11.1 grams per ton of gold. So phase 3 of drilling continues to intersect high grades, and our focus at La Virginia is to expand the El Ruby discovery and to test new targets. Right now, our team is mapping the project, and they're very excited about the El Molino zone in particular. Anticipate we might find our next discovery in that area. The team is currently combining our recent geophysics results and mapping of the project to determine 2023 drilling. So we expect next year to be very exciting for the company. But before I get into the 2023 plans, I would be remiss not to mention our most recent news. If you follow our company, you may know we just released an LOI to acquire Canasil. We are currently completing a financing as part of that deal, which will then add another 10 projects throughout Mexico and Canada to our portfolio. On these projects, there is substantial exploration work and drilling completed to date. The Canadian projects are in BC, and the Mexican projects are located throughout Mexico in Durango and Zacatecas. The Mexican projects have potential large-scale, high-grade silver-gold vein systems along the Mexican silver belt. The Nora and Esperanza projects are of particular interest to our team and will likely become priority after La Virginia once the deal is complete. The other projects we'll potentially option or spin out those that don't suit our portfolio, and we've already received a lot of interest on many of these projects from other companies. So in the interest of time, I'm going to circle back to La Virginia since that's the current focus of Silver Viper. This project is comprised of 4 claims covering 6,882 hectares. It's located 220 kilometers east-northeast of Hermosillo, Sonora. La Virginia is situated on a largely unexplored portion of the Sierra Madre Occidental within the Northern Sierra Madre Precious Metals Belt. It's 100 kilometers northwest of Dolores and 90 kilometers south-southeast of the El Tigre project. So what's our plan for the upcoming year? First, we will sign the definitive agreement with Canasil by December 20th as we finish due diligence. So that deal should close around mid-February. Following that, we will likely do a larger raise to fund the drill program on La Virginia, as well as fund small programs at Nora and Esperanza. In 12 months, we hope to have an updated resource and potentially a PEA on La Virginia, as well as a maiden resource on Esperanza, which is the farthest along of the Canasil projects. So our plan is to drill steadily throughout 2023. In summary, we have a high-quality asset at La Virginia. There is substantial exploration upside at La Virginia and some excellent potential in the new projects. We have strong management and shareholder support, with management and board owning approximately 20% and institutions holding about 60%. It's a great time to get to know the story, and I encourage you to check out our website at silverviperminerals.com or reach out to me directly at info@silverviperminerals.com if you have any questions. Thank you for tuning in.
Canada is the best place in the world to develop a critical minerals project. Quebec is the best place in Canada to start. Good afternoon. I am Belinda Labatt, Chief Executive Officer and Director of Lomiko Metals. Here's what you need to know about Lomiko to get you started on your investment journey in critical minerals. Number one, the demand for anode and cathode materials to move into the electric vehicle revolution that we are in is unprecedented. The IMF has said that prices are expected to increase 500% as a result of the undersupply for this huge demand growth profile that we're about to see. We have two fantastic projects, one to feed into the anode market, our graphite project, La Loutre in southern Quebec, where we have 100% of the mineral rights. It is located on Kitigan, Zibi, and Anishinaabe territory. We have a large land package, over 200 claims, over 100 square kilometers in size, of Bourrier, located on the Nemaska lithium belt in northern Quebec to feed into the cathode market. You want to be exposed to both of these absolutely key critical minerals in your investment portfolio. Here's what to look forward to at Lomiko going into 2023. We have a resource already, an NI 43101 resource showing 3 million in situ graphite. We have drilled out over 13,000 meters this past summer, and we'll be releasing the results of that in an updated technical report showing that we have a resource that we can move into pre-feasibility and ultimately into production. Number two, at our lithium project, we are just at the beginning of discovering the enormous potential of this concession. We've done some target sampling on an unprecedented discovery known as a lithium trend, 2.5 kilometers long with pegmatites, as well as cesium and tantalum showing, and gold. But we're just at the beginning. Much more work to do to discover what's on this concession sitting on the Nemaska lithium trend. And number three, we are an operator of choice. I say that with confidence and excitement because we are putting people first. We know that the energy transition requires a different way of doing business in Canada, in Quebec, to develop these critical minerals. We want to work with our communities, listen first, have conversations, talk about what the future looks like, our collective future to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions so we can reach our target of reducing our global warming to 1.5 degrees or less. There is a lot of work to do, and we are proud to be a part of the Quebec infrastructure and critical minerals strategy, and to contribute into the Canada critical minerals strategy. We are applying for grants as we speak, and we are looking forward to developing closer relationships with the end customer of our product. And what we need to do there is something we've already started, and that means a lot of metallurgy work to show our end customer that what we're producing out of our project is the right quality and purity, which is 99.9% purity, to go into the anode market, starting at our graphite project. So moving along into a clear picture of advancing a project to get it into production for Quebecois and for Canadians. Localization based on being in one of the best and finest graphite deposits in the world, right here in our backyard. And we're going to do that as a responsible operator who puts people first. So follow us and stay tuned.
Hello. Thanks for taking the time to listen to my update. My name is Robert Boyd. I'm the president and CEO of Endurance Gold Corporation. Endurance prime exploration focus right now is our Reliance Gold project. It's well located in British Columbia, 4-hour summer drive north of Vancouver, where our company is located. And we're located in the historic Braylorn Pioneer gold mining camp, and it's produced over 4 million ounces of gold between 1930s and 1970s. We've been fortunate enough to locate and discover a new surface prospect in the Braylorn Pioneer camp, 4 kilometers east of Goldbridge and about 10 kilometers away from the Braylorn Pioneer mine on a separate structure. And the gold discovery is associated with a parallel structure, but it's regional scale, similar to the Braylorn Pioneer mine. And there's an orogenic gold system. And in particular, we believe we're onto a epizonal or high-level, shallowly exposed orogenic gold system. And what's unique about this gold system, and the reason it was overlooked in the past, is that the gold is associated with breccias and sulfidization in a cataclastic or brittle deformational regime in cataclastite breccias. So we've been very successful to date. We've had some very encouraging drill intersections. To date, we've gone through 3 phases of RC drilling, 2 phases of diamond drilling, and we've completed about 12,000 meters of diamond drill core in 60 drill holes. And 44 of those we have assay results from, with 8 of those holes with very significant intersections, including intersections like 15.7 grams per ton over 24.8 meters, very near surface. And we've made a new discovery on surface that we've now traced over about 500 meters of strike in a shallower dipping regional scale structure, but in a shallow subsidiary structure that transitions into a steeper structure. And we're now getting drill intersections both in the shallow structure and in the deeper, what we call feeder structure. Intersections, aside from that very good one I mentioned, include highlights like 17.02 grams per ton over 4.3 meters, which is included within a broader intersection of 8.6 grams over 24.4 meters. Another great intersection of 8.06 gram per ton gold over 13.5 meters, and 7.65 gram per ton gold over 12.7 meters. So what's happening now is that we have a very pregnant gold system over this strike length associated with very strong alteration. And that alteration is indicating a very strong orogenic system associated with iron carbonate or a CO2-rich alteration system. And of the 44 drill holes that we have assay results for, 75% of them have intersections in excess of 3 grams over 3.5 meters, or roughly 10 gram meter product. And 8 of those, as I mentioned, are very encouraging intersections that give us a high indication and a gram meter type indication, like that intersection I mentioned at 15.7 grams over 24.8 meters. So the system's still growing. Most of our exploration to date has been relatively shallow, and we're about to transition into a program this coming year where we intend to continue to do diamond drilling on the project to chase the system along strike and at depth, and identify and build out the mineralized areas where we've got gold and bedrock over about 1.5 kilometers. So it's very encouraging. To date, we raised about $5 million this year. At the end of June, we had about $3.8 million in working capital. And about a month ago in October, we just raised another $2 million at above market hard dollar financing at 42 cents that participants took about 40, insiders took about 40% of. So we're very encouraged by what we've got. We plan to be transitioning into a much bigger program. That's our hope and plan for this coming year. And we still have results from 16 drill holes we have to report. So please stay tuned. And I look forward to providing updates again in the future. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Darwin Green, President and CEO of HighGold Mining. HighGold is a junior explorer focused on high-grade gold environments within North America. Our flagship asset is the Johnson Tract project. That's located in a very accessible part of coastal south central Alaska, and what we've done there, we've defined a little over 1 million ounces at 9.4 grams per ton gold equivalent, a very high grade system, and I'll walk you through that story here shortly. In addition to Johnson Tract, we control a very large land position in the Timmins mining camp in Ontario. We control one of the largest land positions held by a junior there. And in addition to that, we also have a sizable land position in the Selwyn Basin in the Yukon centered on intrusion-related gold systems, and what is turning out to be a very exciting new district being pioneered by Snowline Gold. I'm going to spend my time mostly talking to you here about Johnson Tract in Alaska, and what we've done there. I guess what really distinguishes or differentiates our deposit is that not only high grade, it's very thick. It has an average true thickness of better than 40 meters. That's more than 10 times the thickness of most 5 gram plus systems or other high grade systems. And that translates directly to attractive economics from a mineability standpoint. It's open to expansion. It's got excellent metallurgy. There's an awful lot to like about this deposit. We recently released an intersection here just this past week where we completed 120.5 meters at 18.8 grams per ton gold. It was one of the better intersections drilled this year by any TSX Venture listed company. In addition to the great grades and widths, it's also very attractive from a mineability standpoint in that you can access it with lateral development from the side of the hill, sort of put an ad at the side of the hill and drift in laterally to access the deposit. That should translate to lower upfront capital to build your mine and ultimately lower operating costs. So our focus is on continuing to grow this deposit, but also de-risk it towards the path towards engineering and economic studies. In addition to that main deposit, we've got multiple other prospects on the property. Last year we drilled just an outstanding drill intersection at what's called the Ellis Zone. We drilled 6.4 meters at over 500 grams per ton gold. That was a brand new discovery for us, and we've been proceeding to expand on that this year. It was one of our big focuses this year, is to see if that had the potential to become another deposit, and we've had a lot of success there. Hitting some wide intervals of high-grade gold. So it looks like we've defined a second deposit, and we think there's more to be found on the property. So in the process of defining a district at Johnson Tract. In addition to that, I guess just a few takeaways on the Johnson Tract as a whole. Just to remind you the key attributes, it's grade and thickness. Very attractive mineability. It has that scale and exploration upside potential. And we think it's a very permittable project. Releasing this project from an Alaska Native corporation, they actually own the lands and they would be direct beneficiaries of the economics of this project. So there's a lot to like about that from an ESG standpoint. Just moving to the Timmins camp for a minute. What we've done there is over the last 2.5 years, we've been very aggressive at assembling a much larger land position. We've done over 15 separate property deals to consolidate land around what was a very, very high grade past producing mine that we control, but was really frozen or hobbled by the fact that it was a fragmented patchwork of land ownership around it. We've consolidated that land, and now we're getting about exploring it. We've got multiple multi-million ounce deposits in that environment. Timmins has generated over 70 million ounces of past production. It is the land of giants in terms of gold resources. We're a little earlier stage in Ontario at Timmins than we are in Alaska, but it's great hunting ground, and we're really excited about what we're developing and doing there. As a company, we're well cashed up. We've got a great shareholder base. We've got a senior gold producer that controls 9.9% of the company. We've got blue chip institutional following, and a great board and a very experienced team doing what we're doing. So thanks very much for listening. Please check us out at our website, and we're looking forward to a very exciting 2023 ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ken Brophy, and I'm the CEO of Intrepid Metals Corp. I'd first like to take a moment and say thank you to the 16 for providing us the opportunity to speak with you all today. I'll also note I may be using some forward-looking statements, therefore I encourage everyone to complete their own due diligence before making any investment decisions. Intrepid is a new company that completed the change of business and closed our first financing in May of this year. We raised a little over $3 million, and I'm pleased to say that we still have $2.3 million in the bank, and that's after acquiring 3 drill-ready projects. We currently trade on the TSX.V under the trading symbol INTR, and currently have a market cap between 5 and 6 million. Our focus throughout 2022 was to build out an Arizona-based portfolio of drill-ready projects that we feel have the potential to be developed responsibly and supply the key base metals required to support the energy transition across the globe. We remain very bullish on copper, as report after report continues to illustrate the pending supply gap in the years ahead, which will be bullish for prices. And we believe it's an easy commodity for investors to understand the need for as we transition, to global economies. We've focused our efforts in Arizona for several reasons. It's ranked as one of the top jurisdictions in investor attractiveness by the Fraser Institute, and many of our team members have extensive experience within the state. It's also the leading copper producer, copper producing state within the U.S., with several major mining companies all operating successfully within the state. Lastly, we like Arizona as you can work year round. All of our projects have good access, therefore avoiding more costly exploration efforts that require helicopter or camp support. We feel more of our investment dollars can go straight to the ground to create shareholder value. We currently have 3 projects in Arizona: Tombstone South, Mesa Wells, and Cortland. Tombstone South is located just south of the town of Tombstone, which historically produced over 30 million ounces of silver. What we really like about this project is that the geological model is very similar to the Taylor deposit, located to the southwest. The Taylor deposit was purchased by South 32 in 2018 for $1.3 billion. Similar to the Taylor discovery story, previous drilling at Tombstone hit mineralized zones, with one of the holes encountering 47 meters of 37 grams per ton silver, but the holes failed to test the Paleozoic limestone unit. It's this Paleozoic contact where the Taylor deposit lies. We completed a large dipole IP survey earlier this year to further define the previously identified target areas, and we were pleased to identify a new chargeability anomaly at or near the limestone contact, which we are excited to drill in 2023. The Mesa Well project was acquired earlier this year from Bronco Creek and EMX Royalties. It's another drill-ready property located in the Laramide Porphyry Belt of Arizona, which is host to many major copper deposits and operations. Mesa Well is a long trend between Freeport Stafford's deposit and BHP's San Manuel deposit. We feel this project has the right geology with copper oxide mineralization within, and is located in the right jurisdiction for a new discovery. Last but not least is our Cortland property, located 40 kilometers northeast of the town of Tombstone. And it lies within the historical Turquoise mining district that produced over 48 million pounds of copper at 1.5% per a publication by the Arizona Bureau of Mines. The area here, we feel, has been underexplored as a whole due to fragmented land ownership. However, we have been able to secure a large land package already and have several new target areas identified. We look forward to talking more about this project in the weeks and months ahead. So to wrap things up, Intrepid has assembled a strong and Arizona experience-based team. We have added several exciting drill-ready projects so far in 2022, all within the Tier 1 jurisdiction. We still have over $2 million in the bank for exploration and new project acquisitions, and are focused on essential commodities such as copper, silver, and zinc. We're looking forward to a busy 2023 in creating shareholder value from the drill bit and new project acquisitions. So I encourage you to continue to follow our story. I encourage you to check out our website, intrepidmetals.com, for more information on each one of our projects, or reach out to me directly at kbrophy@intrepidmetals.com. Thank you all for your time, and I'd like to wish you all a happy holidays and best wishes for a successful 2023. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ivan Fairhall. I'm CEO of Mawson Gold. Mawson is listed on the TSX and has a portfolio of gold and strategic metals exploration and development projects. Mawson's got a market cap of $45 million, and that includes $70 million in the controlling interest of an ASX-listed company called Southern Cross Gold, which I'll come back to in a minute. Mawson's flagship project is the Rayapalot Gold Cobalt project. We've just released a PEA on the project, first time economics have ever been wrapped around the project, and it showed a very robust and attractive project with a US $211 million NPV at a 5% discount rate, that's after tax, and a 27% IRR. Rayapalot would be producing 92,000 ounces of gold equivalent per year, gold and cobalt, for about 9 years, and at an impressive $824 an ounce produced. So if Rayapalot was in production today, it would be the 6th largest gold mine in the EU and the 3rd largest cobalt mine. And that's really important. It's to be producing ethically sourced cobalt using 100% renewable power, production of cobalt in Europe for the auto battery industry, and it really helps Europe achieve its energy transition goals and critical metals self-sufficiency. So cobalt is a very important part of the project story. The other thing that the PEA is a real platform for us to grow the project. We now have demonstrated the economic potential of what we've already found, and we've got a lot more to find, and we can now value finding more ounces. The resource bodies themselves are all open down dip, and so more drilling enlarge the resource base. But we've also got a very large landholding package, 18,000 hectares, very unexplored, significant discoveries elsewhere on the property, including 6 meters at 617 grams a tonne, about 8 kilometres away, and almost no drilling in between. So still a lot more upside to come, and now we've got a very solid project to build that around. The project itself is strongly supported locally and at the regional government level. We've commenced permitting, and the land use rezoning of the projects all being done with the support of the local communities. Now, the other asset which I mentioned at the start of the presentation was in Mawson's portfolio, which is of huge importance to the story, is Southern Cross Gold. Southern Cross Gold is a company that Mawson spun out its Australian projects onto the ASX in May of this year. Southern Cross is exploring in the Victorian goldfields, and they've made a gold and antimony discovery amongst a number of projects they've got. A project called Sunday Creek, and it really is a standout discovery. It's got grade and width in the Victorian goldfields that's not been seen in other explorations, and we've got highlight holes like 119 metres at 3.9 grams a tonne gold equivalent and 306 metres at 2.4 grams a tonne gold equivalent. So very, very attractive intersections, and what they're doing is discovering and building out their discovery along strike and down plunge with new shoots being discovered. Very exciting stories, doing very well on the ASX. Mawson owns over 50% of Southern Cross Gold. It's a controlling interest. It's a very valuable asset that's worth $72 million Canadian against Mawson's market cap of $45 million Canadian. So the value proposition in Mawson is very strong. We've got an attractive pre-development project with huge exploration upside, and the valuation of the company is more than already underwritten by an investment in Southern Cross Gold. So certainly something that I think is worthy of taking a look at, and hopefully I get to speak to you at the conference.